Grand Rising, Grand Rising. This is the Straight Talk Morning Show on the Straight Talk Network. I'm Andre Hill, your host, and we have our co-host, Chairman of the United Aboriginal American Republic, Terrence Lake in Detroit, Michigan. How you doing this morning, Chairman?
Oh, Grand Rising, everyone. I'm doing fine. It's a beautiful day up here in the north. You know, mid 70s right now. I'm quite sure it'll get into the 80s, but not the upper 80s. But I'm loving it. Just keep on bringing it. Keep on bringing it.
So, do you think that the Detroit Lions are going to the Super Bowl in Motown this year?
I'm hoping. I don't think, but I'm hoping they got a chance. But you got a lot of good teams this year. A lot of good teams. In fact, you got four games on today.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. Okay. All right. All right. So also we have our co-host, engineer, and Juris Doctor of the United Aboriginal American Republic, Andre Hill Jr. What's going on in Tampa, man?
Oh, everything's good in Tampa. Good weather. I'm just trying to make sure they don't mess with our stream today.
Okay.
But all right.
Well, I'm in sunny West Palm Beach, and we got a call to action for our steering committee. So I'm going to be in West Palm Beach. If you're listening to the show today, we're going to give you a phone number, give me a call, because we're going to be meeting with people to talk about our land recovery agenda for our children. So, so anyway, let's get the topics going on. And as I always post every Friday on the Straight Talk Network live tomorrow, join us for a powerful conversation you won't hear anywhere else. Last week, a viral video showed a black man declaring how he would retaliate. I said how he would retaliate. They what he said was if anybody killed his son, the government agents or officials under the guise of policing, he was going to go and kill them and everybody in their family. And this is a black man because they're getting fed up with the fact that some brazen police have the audacity to murder our children. Now we have an alternative to ending this forever, and we're going to talk about that on the show today. Also, we will address the alarming belief that 300,000 Black women have lost or will lose government jobs under the current administration and the critical advice on what not to do next. So, with 66 years of business experience, a third generation, I've written many business plans. I've written and prepared statistics for IPOs. That's initial public offering for investments, and I've seen things in our United States government and our United States corporate America construct. And what our women are about to do is get caught up in a deeper trap. So if you know any young sisters that's losing their jobs and they saying, well, we got an alternative plan, tell them to listen to this show. Also, plus we'll break down how the Willie Lynch Letter 501 strategy is applied today, especially by Black people who aren't native to the towns that they operate in, based on personal experience. And this is one of the tactics that is used to keep us divided and also keep us in the illusion that this system actually intended to do right by us. And we're going to explain why all the whole time this Luciferian agenda, as it written in our book Lucifer's Revenge, was to eliminate the mitochondrial DNA, the phenocode of Aboriginal people on the surface, from the surface, and replace them with AI, biological humans, or AI robots, so that they could control the directive and the narrative to serve Lucifer. So we're going to expand on that. And we're going to go ahead and kick it off. So the first one, once again, I saw this video um, of this black man in a setting. And he was basically just saying, if one of them policing guys killed my son, he said, I'm throwing all caution to the wind. I'm going to kill him and everybody in his family. So on the internet, you have to be careful. I notice people say unalive. Hey, Junior, what is that a politically correct term to say unalive versus killing or murdering?
No, it's just so that the algorithm won't pick it up and try to shut down or ban the show.
Okay. All right. So I suspected that, but it's good to explain that to people. So one of the things that we were that I'm concerned about that is a bold brother, and he's sincere, and there are a lot of men now that are at the point, even myself. I've seen some things where they're trying to entrap my son, and so my mentality is if they come after my son, I'm going after them. That's my mentality. So, but what happens is, when you go as a lone soldier, you get eliminated from the battlefield. So we're coming up with strategies to keep us on the battlefield and eliminate that bad demon seed gene that has the audacity to murder our young sons. I saw a disturbing video of the policeman in Jacksonville, Florida, just harassing his young brother. And he was very calm and but not complicit. And the guy just broke his glass and reached in and grabbed him out like he was an animal. And that's disturbing. Any father seeing that kind of action, would want to retaliate. Chairman, what's your view in terms of, fathers wanting to protect their son or sending a message to these demon seeds that are in the police force? Now, mind you, there are good policemen and bad policemen. I understand that. But what would be your mindset if they was to grab and murder your son?
Well, it's like any species, you're going to protect your own at all costs. You just, a mother bear, if someone would attack her cub, she's going to risk her life to save her cub. And any other species, if you take a rat and trap him in a corner, he's going to come out and fight you, even though you're 100 times bigger than that rat. He don't have no other alternative but to survive. And to survive, he's got to attack you because you in jeopardizing his existence. So this is what's really going on. You know, you can't expect for people to let you just bamboozle and bulldoze them and do what you want to them because people want to live. Everybody wants to live. So, that old saying in the Bible, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, I don't know. That should have probably stayed in there, and maybe we wouldn't have as much murdering and killing as we have today, because then they know that if you kill mine, I'm going to kill yours, and I can't say it's wrong, but I can't say it's right. But it's just a natural instinct. You're gonna protect your own. Don't mess with my children. Don't mess with my brothers and sisters. You know, I've got to protect them. That's life. And people better wake up and realize that. We were meant to live in harmony, not war. This war has got to go.
Hey, so Chairman, just last week I got pulled over by the police. One of my brake lights went out. And it was a Hispanic woman, and she pulled me over and said, "I stopped you for two reasons." I said, "Oh, really?" She said, your brake light is out and your driver's license is suspended." I said, "No, that ain't so. My driver's license is fine." Now, I replaced these brake lights. I don't know if it's some kind of electrical problem or what have you, but I'm gonna look into it. She said, well, but your driver's license. I said, no, even though we are moving in a position to not have driver's license for these people, as an Aboriginal nation, I went ahead and complied because I didn't. I choose my battles. So I said, no, you go run my driver's license and you make sure that you know what you're talking about. So she went by. She said, oh no, you have a son? I said, yeah, he has the same name. Well, his driver's license is expired. I said, no, that ain't because of financial responsibility. I said, no, that's not the case. His driver's license ain't expired because I know I'd be paying the insurance bill and we ain't had no accident. Well, no. So come to find the bottom line, and I know my son's going like, Dad, you're putting our business out. But if it was him and he would have resisted and said, no, I know my driver's license ain't expired, uh, they might have initiated the same thing that they did with this boy in Jacksonville. And just fortunate, it was me. And I was able to forewarn my son. Come to find out, there was an illegal activity of someone stole his tag and he wasn't able to turn it in to report it. So they suspended his driver's license behind that. And I'm going like, wow, my son could have been incarcerated because she told me, she said, my directive is to take your driver's license and the tags on this car. The incident had nothing to do with the tags on the car that I was driving because my son got two cars. He let me ride in one of them. So anyway, to make a long story short, it could have gone in a different direction, and I could be loading up right now to go take out the entire city of Tampa behind my child being attacked and murdered. And that's just an instinct as a parent. Now, my son, on the other hand, has a different opinion, and we're going to let him expand on that. But that was my fear as a parent, and so hey man, how do you being in that demographic of young black men, Aboriginal being arrested? How do you feel about the situation?
Say what you mean being arrested.
Being arrested, harassed, and locked up,
Oh,
murdered.
my bad. Let me just say to the people, I ain't get arrested, so y'all don't trip. Uh, but to answer your question, I'm 40 now, and even in my lifetime, you remember back, when I was about 17, 18, 19 years old, first getting my license, driver's license. You remember it was a few times I got pulled over back then. It was kind of, what's the word? Exciting to say the least. You see what I'm saying? In other words, I've gotten harassed by police officers before, of course. Let me say this to get to you and Chairman's, or to build on you and Chairman's point. You do have good police officers out there. You do got bad ones. And I'm going to say that as probably one of the most radical people on the planet. I know I'm relatively mild-mannered, but I've always been one of the most radical people on the planet, believe it or not. And I remember back when I was 17, 18, I was real cowboyish back then. I've gotten pulled over by police officers and went through the whole thing that y'all see on the news. Get out the car with the guns drawn on me. I've been through that. I've been through that. And was talking crap back to them because they pulled me over and they thought we had drugs in the car. And we knew we didn't have any drugs in the car. So they wanted to search it. And they searched it. And me and my partner, he was just as radical as I am. We were standing on the sideline talking crap to the police because we knew they weren't going to find nothing. We've been through that. I've had officers pull me over when I was in the wrong. I'm just gonna say that, was in the wrong. Details. But I've had some pull me over, particularly Caucasian officers, and say, "Hey, look, are y'all going home?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, y'all just go straight home. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Go straight to the house." And I'm gonna put a notice out to the rest of the officers that I already stopped you and you going home. Right? I've had officers do that. But long story short, where we at right now in this current climate of this current regime, yeah, we're gonna have to be extremely vigilant and take on that mentality that, yeah, you mess with ours, yeah, you're gonna suffer the same fate and or worse, just because there is a there's an agenda to up the stakes and up the ante because these parasites are running out of time. That's what it all boiled down to. The parasitic elite are running out of time. They're running out of time to set up their infrastructure for them to have access to our energy and bodies. And they're going into a winter season trying to get ready to hibernate. And they don't want to be hibernating without no food to store up because they'll die. That's the bottom line of it. So, but that's not our problem. That's not that's not the majority of it. All of us who are not parasites. That's not our issue. So, I'm still in the same state of mind I was back when I was 18, 19. I'm just way more strategic and diplomatic about it now. That's all, right? But, I mean, as a matter of fact, the way I look at it, me being 40, and I know times are different, but my mentality is that us 40-year-olds we've lived long enough to have a little bit of wisdom, and we're still young enough to have a lot of energy. And we're primarily, we're stepping into a mode of being some of the caretakers of the community, right? So I'm in the same state of mind of protecting the community, protecting our families by any means necessary. And it's like this: either we can reach the hearts and minds of the people who are signing up to be puppets and tools for those parasitic elite to say, hey, listen, you got families and relatives too. And it's like, do you want to sign up? Because y'all are still the minority here. It's like, if y'all want to sign up to be enforcers of crooked agendas on behalf of the parasitic elite, while you still human and you got families too, and you the minority, do you really want to go up against the majority who wants to live in peace and harmony, but also will defend their family to the death? Do you really want to put yourself in that position in the physical realm and have to deal with the karma in the non-physical realm? I don't think they want to do that. When you really boil it down to it, I don't think they want to have to deal with that. So that's my mentality on it, and I think well, it don't matter what I think. It's going to be all right either way. So that's what I do know.
All right. So what will happen with fathers like me and the chairman and this brother that I saw on this video? They gearing up, and their mindset, if you mess with my child, I'm coming after you and your children. So that's a good analogy of repercussions. But here's something that's better. Okay, so there are three issues that we need to address right now as the original humans of the Americas. There are three things that we need to implement right now. The first thing that we've covered so many times on this show, we're praying to the wrong frequency. That's the first thing. So if just a group of Black fathers with sons was to get together and say, we know now that the letter J is only 500 years old, and that the Christ was here 2,000 years ago. So it couldn't have been Jesus Christ. We recognize that our whole culture, our churches was praying to the wrong frequency, and thereby giving that frequency strength to overrule us. That Christ being, it's believed that his name was Yahshua, not Jesus Christ. So, and even that, Yahshua will say, don't pray to me. I'm just a servant that was brought here by the Most High to raise your frequency. Don't honor me or edify me. I'm telling you, that's what a Christ being is. I understand the original philosophy or ideology of what Christianity is. is treat people the way you want to be treated. Love your fellow humans unconditionally. So all of these other gyrations were created by Lucifer because Lucifer had a plan to corrupt this whole planet. So if all of you fathers out there that are getting ready to buy you a gun and get ready to get into special ops to go murder these guys that's killing your sons and your daughters. They ain't just sons. They don't have a problem killing a daughter either. Uh, how about we do this? We start focusing on the frequency beyond who created Lucifer. We have authority over the Luciferian agenda because the entity that created us, the original humans with melanin, that's an indication that you was created by the Most High. So if we start focusing, like we said, we need to reaffirm that we're letting the Most High know, not Jesus Christ, the Most High know that we are coming together as a species and we want help getting these demons off our planet. It's time, as my son said, the hibernation time, it's time for them to go away, you know. And so understanding the metaphysical understand concept that those bodies were used. And if you ended up in one of those bodies, if you start the repenting process, which means to change your ways, you don't have to have one of them bodies in the next life. You can get a beautiful melanated body, and therefore you're not hating on anybody. So if a group of these fathers, because our job is to protect and build. So if somebody attacking our babies, our young men and our young women, we need to be focusing on the energy of the Most High. Just stop saying Jesus Christ and start saying all to the Most High, please
You don't have
remove
that
these demons from our planet.
beautiful melanated body.
Please remove these demons from. I knew we were going to get some interference pretty soon, and help us to create an environment to protect them. All right. So to to those men, if you want to join our collective, go to uaarnation.org or give us a call. We have a tribal phone number. It's 813-669-7114. That's 813-669-7114. Leave a message. If you go to our website using your telephone, you won't find those numbers, but you can find the item, the part where you can leave your name and say, I want to get involved with, the nation. We want to start focusing on how we're going to tap into that high frequency. And so that's a very critical piece right now. The other issue is land recovery committee. So right now, while I'm down here in West Palm Beach, we are recruiting a land recovery committee because all this land, I'm just in the state of Florida. I was riding the highways from Jacksonville to West Palm Beach to Miami to Tampa, Fort Myers. There are thousands of just vacant land with 40, 50 cows on it, taking up all that land. And here we have people that are homeless, that are losing their jobs, and here we spending money back into an economy set up by Lucifer instead of recirculating that money back into our own purpose. So those are the things that we need to focus on. The collective order, stop praying to the wrong frequency. The second thing is land recovery. We need our land. All this land that was ours before the Luciferian agenda came here. Uh, and we need organized economics. And we're going to talk about that when we get to those 300,000 women uh, that were that's losing their jobs. All right. So, hey, Chairman, any comments on that before we go on to the next?
No, not really off the top of my head. I mean, I was thinking about all this land, like we belong to a government. We are the government. We just have people that represent us. How come everybody can't have a piece of the rock? A minimum, because people need a place to stay. People need some room. It don't have to be much, an acre a person. I think it's necessary. And realistically, it should be done, not one person owning a whole state and he can't do anything with it. Maybe he's got some type of income that he's drawing. That's why he's a billionaire. But how come everybody can't have at least a bare minimum? This is what's necessary. Then we wouldn't have all these problems. These kids out in the street robbing and stealing and killing because everybody needs something. So let's be fair. Let's come together. Let's, you know, initiate some of this land to everybody. We talked about 40 acres and a mule one time. We don't need 40 acres and a mule. Give us 1 acre to start with and do something productive with it. It's for the betterment of us all.
Well, there we have it. So, hey, Julian, can you play the so Stacey Abrams? She's a political person in the state of Georgia, and she did a summary on our State of the Union summary on where we are as a people. Hey, man, can you cue up that video with Stacey Abrams? And so in this video, she's going to tell you where we are right now in this Luciferian agenda.
This happens in every nation that has become an autocracy, having been a democracy. So whether we're talking about Brazil with Bolsonaro, or India, or Putin and Russia, the Philippines with Duterte. So start with winning an election. Mm-hmm. Usually the last one you're going to get to have for real. Number two, you have an expansion of executive power. The president decides he wants more than he's supposed to have. Number three, you start to make the Congress complicit. So you weaken them and you neutralize or neuter the judiciary. Like, the Supreme Court giving you unfettered power and saying we don't have the ability to stop things. Then you move on to firing all of the people who know how to make government work. So you gut the civil service. And you do that because you want to break democracy so people forget the stuff that used to get done. So you can't get your Social Security check. So the CDC doesn't know what diseases are anymore. Mm-hmm. Then you put in place these loyalists, people who are only responsive to you. You put them in charge of the FBI so they go after your enemies. You put them in charge of the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense, so they can signal to their friends and tell them all about the evil plans that you have. Then you make certain that you break how we communicate. So you criticize the media and you create your own echo chamber of propaganda. You call it truth even though you know you're lying. Then you go to the next step, and I call that step 7. So at step 7, you have to blame someone. You have to blame people for the broken government, for the broken promises. So you go after DEI. You go after the vulnerable, the dispossessed. You go after any community that doesn't look like what you think power should be. While you're doing that, you make certain that in step 8, you eliminate anybody who could help them. So you sue law firms that do pro bono cases. You go after philanthropies and accuse them of giving money to the wrong people. You go after colleges and universities that can teach people possibly what else they should know. You get to step 9 and you start to encourage and incentivize private violence. You send the U.S. Marines into spaces they should not be. You send the National Guard in. You kidnap people off of the streets and pretend that's normal, because that's how you quiet dissent, because you make everyone afraid that if they don't do what you want, they might be next. And once you've done those 9 steps, step 10 is easy. That's when you decide there won't be new elections, because everyone's either afraid, poor, broken, or complicit. This happens in every nation that has become.
Okay. All right. So we at step 9, approaching step 10. Now, let me say something to you. People say, oh, Donald Trump. It ain't just Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just a puppet. He's a front man. They put him in position when they first created his show, You're Fired. They knew back then that they was going to set this up. You have a low frequency extraterrestrial group. Some people might call them reptilians or grays, but this group, they are highly sophisticated, and they put these systems in place, and they got these puppet humans following their agenda. So here is the good thing. Those low frequency extraterrestrials, whether they're the grays or reptilians, they were created by the Most High. Those low frequency entities, they created their own Christianity, and they forced and murdered anybody that didn't submit to their religious ideologies. So when you start focusing on the Most High, you ain't got to put a name on it. Just say it to the Most High. Just say it every day, because it's working. We started this campaign 3 weeks ago. There have been floods, people dying, getting cancer. There's going to be more because we are starting to focus on the Most High. Take these demons off our planet. It's working. We need more people to do it. But all of these puppet humans, they will start to no longer exist. They will become sick. They will be so paranoid because they don't know who's coming after. They are like the chairman say, they are good Caucasian people. You know, Muhammad Ali said, yeah, they're good. There may be 100 good Caucasian people, but there are 500,000 of them that ain't good. So I can't try to figure out which ones are good and bad. But either way, there are good Caucasian people that realize what's going on. They listen to this show and they realize that their soul is eternal. That Caucasian body is temporary. So people like the Trumpster, the Agent Orange, the Clarence Thomas, see, they ain't just Caucasian. They come in all kind of bodies. They're following this Luciferian agenda. So as we focus on the Most High, they will start to remove them because the Most High allowed them to come here to test us. So now, when we elevate to that frequency and say, we understand we did wrong by each other, but now we're correcting ourselves and we're coming back together as a species. Get these demons off our planet. So that's where we're in step 9 right now. This is not a game. This is the real final event. This is the real deal. So we're putting together a land recovery team committee. And with that land recovery committee, we're coming up with strategies of how we're going to state our case to these demons that invaded our land. And we're going to recover our land, and we're going to create an economic system to get our children out of this matrix. Now, my son is highly advanced, but he still can't handle these demons because he wasn't here in the 40s, the 50s, and 60s. He don't quite understand how to deal with them. But to us that was here in the 40s and the 50s, we know how to do this. We understand them. So we need you to go to our website or call that number, 813-669-7114, and say, I want to join the Land Recovery Committee so we can build some housing and industry for our children. Because guess what? Grandma, grandpa, nana, you are taking care of them children. You having to babysit them. They in your retirement money. They don't know what to do. So why don't you just join this committee? Stop being fearful, because you're the Most High made these demons who created the fear for you. Stop being fearful. We need this committee members all over the country, not just here in Florida. Even though I'm here in West Palm Beach, I'm down here, and you can give me a call, and I'll be glad to meet with you. You can call us on that number, and we're going to talk about how we're going to get this land back and get our children out of this matrix so you can enjoy your retirement program. Chairman, do you know anything about what's going on with grandma and grandpa right now?
Well, a lot of grandpa and grandmas really don't know what's going on, because if they did, they would be making their grandchildren get involved in some of these organizations that are looking out for their better interests. And like you say about the Most High, is definitely dealing with the situation, because if you know about the disclosure, they're giving us probably the maximum 2 years before they come and intervene and make things right. And this is what the government is really afraid of. They know this is happening. And it's about time, you know, that the extraterrestrials know what's going on. They see all the death and destruction, the wars, and they're not putting up with it anymore. You know, it's like a country that's doing good, and they see a bad country taking over the people and misusing them and abusing them. If they don't do something about it, eventually they're going to come for them. So it's like us. Well, if we don't do something about it, eventually it's going to be us. You know. So it's just a matter of time. And with the disclosure, what I'm hearing is long overdue. I hope it happens before 2027 because we know it's going to happen. That's no doubt. 2 years isn't long, but it seems long when you know that there's uh, a remedy that you're sick and you need this medicine and you won't get better until you get the medicine. You want the medicine right now. So get involved. It's to benefit us all nationalities and creeds. But it's got to be beneficial for all of us. If it's for everybody, it's from God. If it ain't for everybody, it ain't from God.
Absolutely. Hey, Chairman, I tell people that all. Anytime you trying to listen to the voices that when the Most High is communicating with you, there's also a most low that's communicating with you. If they're
Right.
telling you you need to be selfish, then that's from the most low. If they're saying we need to do this for all the children on the planet, then that's from the Most High. That's how you discern the difference in these messages that's being transmitted to you through the different frequencies. Hey, man, my son is the Juris Doctor of UAAR, and he's working on the documentation of the land and our recovery committee. Hey, man, if you can play that video, and then when the video finished, explain from your point of view how we can get this land back. And that's going to definitely require people from me and the chairman's generation to get involved in this.
They didn't just take the land, they rewrote the ownership, they buried the original land patents in county vaults, burned some, hid others, and transferred thousands into corporate hands, all while calling it progress. But here's what they won't tell you. Copper-colored men had land patents. Our people held original title before deeds, banks, or courts. And every time a name got changed, every time a nation got relabeled Negro, they buried the paper trail. That's not just theft. That's a war crime. And Malcolm X knew it. That's why he said, "We are not Americans. We are victims of America." He was preparing to take the United States to the United Nations, not for civil rights, but for human rights violations against a sovereign people. Reparations, it wasn't a handout. It was a land return. Martin Luther King figured that out before they shot him. In his final speeches, he said, "We were promised 40 acres and a mule. Instead, the government gave subsidies to white landowners and told us to pull ourselves up by bootstraps with no boots." His final plan was the Poor People's Campaign, a movement to demand land, capital, and housing for the descendants of those who were enslaved. And just like Malcolm, he was killed before it could happen. But the mission's not dead, because those land patents still exist. You can look them up right now. BLM General Land Office Records County Recorder, Grantor Grantee Indexes, Bureau of Indian Affairs Trust claims what to look for. Copper-colored surnames before 1900. Colored landowners listed before statehood names marked freedmen with tribal trust alignment. If you find the original land patent, you can challenge the deed. You can nullify fraudulent transfers. You can make them prove they lawfully acquired that land. Most can't. And when they can't, the land defaults to the heir. That heir is you. So don't just learn history, learn the land code, because you don't need permission to reclaim what's already yours. All you need is proof and presence. And when you stand on that land again with that patent in your hand, you don't just reclaim land, you reclaim command.
You ever wonder why some of our
uplifted, educated, and electrified.
Hey, man, so you're up, Junior. So, hey, to the listening audience, Listen to this message to the end because we are giving some information. We at step 9 and about to go into step 10. Go ahead, Jimmy.
So everything that was stated on the video is virtually correct. Virtually correct. And under the assumption that you know, they'll do the right thing, right? And I'm gonna speak from this perspective because I always speak from a military stratagem point of mind, meaning I'm always looking at worst case scenario first, and then we move forward from there. But everything as far as the process on how to reclaim, let's say land patents is virtually correct. But first thing you want to do is do your genealogy for your family. Because when you do your genealogy extensively, you're going to go back in time, let's say, 5 to 6 generations, and that's all it takes, because it was only a maximum of 5 to 6 generations ago when they began to steal land through false litigations and tax seizures and or just really heinous ways of just rolling up on your land with a gang or a mob of criminals and running you off your land. So, and then they'll say, and then they have a false title record that they have, and this is what they were talking about in the video. Did they acquire the land lawfully? And most of the time they didn't. 9 times out of 10, they didn't acquire the land lawfully. So you're gonna do your genealogy so you can trace your family name, your family surname back to the land patent. And also too, not only are you probably going to find an ancestor surname to where you can do a land acquisition search, but more than likely, some of your ancestors were also tied to technology patents. Because remember, Black people invented a lot of stuff in this country.
Yes.
That was stolen from us through the patent office. It's like we invented it, but then somebody else put a patent on it, stole it from us, put a patent on it, and now their name is in the record of holding the patent on it, even though they didn't invent it. And all of the royalties that have been collected from that invention can belong to your family. So first things first is do the genealogy, do your best to find your ancestors' connection to particular lands. Because you may live, let's say, in Georgia, but you may have some ancestors that came out of Mississippi, and you got access to a lot of land over there, right? But so you have to do the genealogy search, not necessarily a DNA test, because a lot of those are relatively fraudulent right now. Don't worry about those. You'll do the genealogy test in particular. Also too, so if in the event that you find that you have land patents, the process is not going to stop there, meaning this is what you need to get into the state of mind of doing. You need to prepare yourself to link with an indigenous government who knows how to put that land into some level of trust or build your estate for the sake of identifying it so that you can continue to pass it down to your family, but also build infrastructure on it so that it becomes productive within the ecosystem of things. So like I was saying earlier, a good majority of what was stated in that video as far as the processes on acquiring land is virtually correct. One of the best ways you're going to get access to that is, first things first is you need to know what ancestors, what family you've had that had land taken from them, right? Once you figure that out, you can reach out to a indigenous government like ours. There's others out there too. There's others that know how to put your land in a jurisdiction, whether your own or umbrella jurisdiction, that will protect it as a collective. Because remember, the land usually was taken in the first place because it was taken from an individual family. It's very easy to attack an individual family. Matter of fact, most Caucasian farmers are dealing with it right now. They can't protect their farmland because they one individual family against a whole government department. But if you have your land under the jurisdiction of a collective of Aboriginals, we don't tell them, hey man, we'll pull up. It's like, let's scrap. What you want to do, right? They're less likely, far less likely, to try to reacquire your land if you got that type of backup and power. The last thing I'll say on it, again, also be in the mind state of developing your land with self-sustainable technology and agricultural practices so that your land is contributive to the ecosystem. So in other words, if you go get your land back and let's say it has an industrial plant on it, like don't get green-eyed and say, ooh, my land is already making a bunch of money. Let me just keep this industrial plant on it now. Be prepared to shut that down and rebuild something new.
Hey, right on.
Be prepared to shut that down. I mean, acquire whatever resources that it has garnered. Be prepared to convert that USD into something that is tangible and it has real intrinsic value. All right. So I'll end it right there, and we'll reach out to us via our website, uarnation.org. That's uaarnation.org, and we have an Indigenous development team with the background and skills on how to develop your land. We know how to do it. So yeah, reach out to us and begin the steps, begin the process. I'll land that plane right there.
All right, good deal. Hey man, this is the real deal. This is the final conflict. And a lot of our leaders, we're going to talk about our leaders after we talk about these 300,000 sisters. Now, the 300,000 sisters that's losing their jobs. I saw a video or read an article, about the genius and the power of those sisters. Now, this is something that I always say. When we get our women back from the Luciferian agenda, that means the hair, the lashes, the fancy cars, the jewelry, the big houses, and all of that madness, and outdoing each other and fighting this and jealousy. When we get our women back, the war is over instantly. So to them 300,000 sisters, don't be trying to say, I'm going to go and open up my own business since I don't have this government job. And within Lucifer's system and Lucifer's money, and say, I'm going to get rich and I'm going to get this house and do all of that stuff. That's a trap. I have written hundreds of business plans, as I said earlier, IPOs. I've been in the different businesses. And with all the knowledge and experience I have, it's a trap. It's an illusion. They are set up to overregulate you. And if you're too successful, they're going to come to you and say, hey, it's a good idea. Would you like to sell it? No, I'm keeping my business. Then they'll come in and overregulate you. And they'll use your own employees to sabotage you. And I'm talking about something I experienced, not something I read or saw in a movie. They will use your own melanated employees because they'll offer them some money on the side because they know they're jealous of you anyway, owning the business, just hiring them and giving them peanuts while you get all the money. They jealous, so they're going to take a bow. Get out of this matrix completely. If you're going to use that genius, and our women are brilliant. You got all your chromosomes. We men, we ain't that brilliant. We only got 3/4 of our chromosomes. So we need you to join us. There are countries that are ready to build a new economic system based on, like my son said, true intrinsic value. Don't waste your time trying to come up with a business plan or IPO that's going to make you $1 million so you can So nah, I told you I was good. No, we know you are beautiful. We know you are the most beautiful women on the planet. Don't get caught up in that trap. Let's get with this program with Burkina Faso, South Africa, all these African nations that's getting them sellout leaders out of their country. Power to them with that. Getting them out of there. If they're beholden to this Luciferian agenda, you gone, you done, you will die. So let's focus on building our own nation. Come get with us. We hey, we are building an army of men, melanated men that understand our purpose is to protect you and build for you. But it can't be with that nonsense. It can't be toxic formulas. It needs to be biodegradable. Everything that we're building is going to be in sync with nature. That's where we headed. You got to get out of that competition thing. You know, I understand you've been left unprotected for 400 years. We sorry. We sorry. But we understand that if we don't straighten up, we're going to be put in prison. The concentration camps, they building them. We're at step 9 right now. Everything Stacey Abrams was talking about, we already there. You got to be blind, dumb, and crazy not to see that reality. So we have a plan. Me and the chairman can build anything on this planet. I have operated and been involved in over 66 years of business experience. I am a third generation entrepreneur. I'm giving all that knowledge to our nation for the sake of our children. So let's do this. Give us a call. If you're an elder and you know something, don't say, I don't know metaphysics. I don't know. I've been praying to Jesus. Okay, we understand. Every now and then I say, oh, Jesus. It takes a long time to get that bad programming out of your head. So let's work on, first of all, saying to the Most High. That's all. We ain't ask you to use no name, no honorable, this and that. Just say to the Most High, please get these demons off our planet. We're going to fix it. We're going to correct ourselves. Please get them off our planet. And then we'll start moving so to them 300,000 women, we have a plan for you. And some of you are already trying to connect with them African nations. But let me say something to you. You got some black men that's willing to go out front for you. So don't get rid of that ego. Our black man ain't nothing. We're gonna do it ourselves. No, they're not gonna respect you if you don't come with the whole unit of the Aboriginal man and Aboriginal woman. We love and respect you. I know we dogged you out some, because we was messed up for 400 years too. But and even in the Willie Lynch letter, the mind has a way of correcting itself. It's time to correct ourselves. So we are moving in the direction of understanding that this is the final conflict. This is no game. Now, the other piece that we were going to talk about today was, and this is how the Willie Lynch letter, I call it 501. All right, to you brothers that have moved and moved to other towns because you couldn't get it together in your own hometown. I understand. I was the same way. I lived in Atlanta. I lived in DC. I lived in Nashville. But ultimately, I had to come back to Tampa, my hometown, and face the demons that I came up against when I was a child. All right. So now, what you brothers have done, you've gone into a different environment. Here's how you got encouraged. The Willie Lynch 501 will recognize you if you're, somewhat smart or intelligent and have skills. And they will give you benefits because they know you're not originally from that hometown. They're going to give you benefits because they know that if they put you in a nice car, give you your business, your nice house, and give you income, give you a contract, You done pissed off the local aboriginals. They resent you. I'm telling you from what I know. I did this in Nashville. I went and set up a daycare and I was setting up a 63,000 square foot food processing plant. But I started out with the daycare to get my cash flow going. This woman who was from Nashville, who was way more qualified than me to own a daycare, she came up and she said, how did they let you have a daycare? I've been trying to get one for 10 years. I said, what do you mean, let me? I got, at that time, probably about 50 years of business experience. I'm a third generation entrepreneur, 4 years of college, 3 years in a law firm in Washington, D.C. I got it because I got skills, woman. No, 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 no. That was a big lie. I got it because the Willie Lynch design was let a Negro from out of town come here. We'll give him the benefits. He'll piss off. And they know that whenever they decide to shut you down, nobody's coming to your rescue because you pissed everybody off. You went and jumped the line in their hometown. That's Willie Lynch 501. So to you brothers operating in different cities. Now I'm in a city right now. I'm not gonna go knocking on the door and say, "Hey, I'm Andre Hill, and y'all need to go." I'm gonna find somebody, the local. I'm gonna get with them and say, "I'm here to help, advise you how you." I'm not gonna step in front of them. So all you brothers and sisters in different cities, especially my hometown, I got several of them, and they don't even talk to me. They disrespectful. They want you, they want to involve me in their curriculum because they know I know what I'm doing. So they want to listen to that demon and say, that demon tell them what to do. And the minute they get in position and they decide, oh, I done sold these people out. I need to correct myself. They pull the rug out from under you. That's based on a real experience. I know we tried to cover a lot. Chairman, that's a real experience, Chairman. What I'm telling you, and my son witnessed it. He witnessed what we went through. So I wanted to share it. So yeah, if all of these pieces, all these components are part of enslavement. Once again, it ain't just Caucasian men and women. It is your soul, where your soul is, selfishness. So we're gonna fix that. Join us if you want to be part of our steering committee. If you want to get your children, your grandchildren, and your great grandchildren out of your pocket, join our steering committee. What we're going to do is those items that my son listed on how we're going to reclaim our land and redevelop. And we got other groups that's willing to finance us because they know that this demon had done posted up here in the Americas in Washington, D.C. And they know somebody needs to check it. So all we're doing is separating from the parasite. He can go ahead and do his thing. He can have his sundown town and white supremacy and all that craziness, but we separate him. Why? Because if you are in a car with a bank robber and your car gets stopped, you go into jail because you were complicit. I don't know if that's the right legal term, but so we are separating from them. We're building our own nation. And a lot of people say, well, Andre, the things you're saying, they'll assassinate you. No, they don't want to do that. And if they do, I go out in a high glory. But right now, I'm protected. And the same protection that I have, I'm gonna share that formula with every one of you committee members, every one of you young chiefs, every one of you young queens that's ready to come in. I'm gonna share that formula of protection. You don't have to worry about come burning up and drowning and flooding out our towns anymore. That time is over. That period is over. So you need to get with our program. Hey, Chairman, we almost right on the hour. You got any comments on all that?
Well, I mean, you're speaking the gospel, like you say, sometimes these cities will let somebody else from the outside come in to disrupt things and then take over because they're with somebody else's agenda. And for a perfect example is I was born and raised in Hamtramck. And when I was coming up, it was a Polish community. 70% of people were Polish, 25% black, and 5% all others. Now the Arabs have come into the city, have taken over. The Polish moved out. The blacks still aren't together. They're still bickering over little pitty Annie stuff, and the Arabs, they're turned it into a Republican city. And Hamtramck was always a Democrat where everybody basically got along, even though they were different nationalities. But what you're saying is the truth. They'll let somebody come in and disrupt things because they got their hand in their back. They're puppeteering. I'll land that plane.
Hey man, Chairman, we right at that 1 hour minute. We got some serious topics next week. The next week after, we're gonna be showing people how we're gonna be moving in these communities. See that your children, your grandchildren, and your great grandchildren, when they come into our community, they don't have to pay no mortgages. They don't have to pay rent, water bills, and light bills. This is our land. All that stuff is free. All we want them to do is develop themselves spiritually, to find out who they are, find the Christ inside of them. And we're going to manifest to a collective action, not an individual action. Oh, I got to get mine, you got to get yours. That's those everybody that's practicing those tactics, you gonna die with your slave master. That's a promise. You will die with your slave master. And to all you demons that want to murder our children, you definitely getting ready to die because all of our people hearing this message, we're coming together, we're meditating to the Most High, and you and yours will be eliminated. Your phenol code, your family history, the guardians of the Most High are going to take you out. Look at them floods and them fires. And that's why we separate, because when we move in these protected communities, ain't nothing going to happen to us. So that's where we are. Hey, son, you go ahead and close us out. Give us your final thoughts on all this and close us out, man.
Man, I think you and Chairman did good closing it out. Like you said, we right on the hour. We want to try not to extend y'all's attention span no longer. It's been a Straight Talk Network show. We love y'all as always. Peace out. We'll see you next week.